Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 212A, it's the Tier 9 Soviet SPG. This one's located on the southwest spawn of Live Oaks, and it's under the command of talon1958. Game on! Now this Arty has the 203mm howitzer, the B4 howitzer. Used to be able to do 1050 alpha with standard HE, but now Wargaming have effectively neutered Arty and taken it down to 900 hit points instead. Yeah, I'm afraid it's not stopping the whiners from being hit. Yeah, we're still hitting them, and they're still frustrated because they can't get rid of Arty, and they won't get rid of Arty. So all of their effort in trying to remove Arty from the game has failed. And all Wargaming did by changing around Arty was waste a lot of people's time. All they needed to do was reduce the number of Arty in a game, which is Klaus Kellerman pointed out, and it would have been solved. But no, they had to fiddle around with the game, and well, they've lost a lot of players as a result of it. And we know that because the MOE levels have changed dramatically, because a lot of regular Arty players are no longer playing the game. Okay, well, aim towards the city. We've got a Badger, Tier 10 British tank destroyer, replacement for the Death Star. Quite a poor replacement, you could say. Not as good as the Death Star. Rounds out, direct hit 272. Now, Talon's queued up the special, or the premium HE for his next shot. In fact, actually, he's decided to load it straight away. He's not bothering to wait until the next round. I think he wants to punish that Badger and see if he can get a penetration. The premium SHE will actually go do 1200 alpha if it can penetrate 65mm of armor, and the top armor of the Badger is, well, relatively thin compared to the rest of it. It's just lining up short, working out where it's going to be. It's about right, bounce out, and direct hit wipes him out. Perfectly aimed. Okay, selecting another premium HE round because there are some enemy heavies making their way down the railway line. This is a Tier 10 game with Tier 9 tanks in it. He's getting a request to shoot at the Superconch, but instead he's actually going to go for the 121B, I think. It's got thinner armour. The 121 is a little more active though. I think he would have been better off going after the Superconch because he's not moving quite as much, I think. He's just rocking about on the spot, hoping people will shoot at his not front plates, but at the I've forgotten what we call it, spaced armour around the turret. Okay, here we go. Another premium HE, rounds out, direct hit, 448 hit points. I don't think he expected that. Mind you, he didn't get any stun from that shot, so on the one side he won't be too happy about the fact that he's got hit, but on the other side he'll be happy that yes, he didn't get stunned in the process. Now they are pushing forward, which means that Talon might have to consider moving soon, because he is going to be fairly close to the enemy soon. Okay, go for that 121 again. He's loaded, ready to go. Rounds out. Direct hit for 493. He's certainly doing well with getting these penetration shots. The special HE does have a reduced burst radius. It's only got 5 meters, whereas the standard HE actually has a 10.4 burst radius. So although he can't affect other tanks, if he gets a direct hit, he might be able to do substantial damage to an enemy tank, but nowhere near as much damage as he would have done in the past with just standard HE alone. And although he's carrying one round of premium, or armor piercing rather, armor piercing we've found to be fairly useless unless you can actually get a direct hit. And yes, he has had to decamp, get out of here because he's just far too close to the enemy. And in fact, if they come up the rise towards him, then he is going to be the next one killed because they'll spot him fairly quickly. We do have a T95 FD4201 in their way, the Chieftain, but he's safer over here just for the moment, and he could make his way to the city because the enemy has been vacated from the city. they will serve their eviction orders, and in fact our team now hold the enemy cap area, although they're not capping. And the reason for that is some of the enemy tanks made their way back towards their own cap. And he's still trying to stop these guys from attacking our end. He'd actually be better off if he was firing up the other end to try and stop the enemy tanks who are trying to claim back their cap area. Okay, he's got a red line there. That's probably the bridge that's blocking that shot. Okay, just having a quick look for the enemy tanks. There is one up there he can see, so he could fire at it, but instead he's going to go for the Centurion 7-1. Rounds out. It looked like it landed directly in front of him. I'd definitely go for that tank up the northeast corner of the map, because that heavy appears to be trying to attack our team. Oh, no, he's gone. I don't think the artillery that's shown on the minimap is there. I think he's probably gone south. And our team in the south is now starting to push the enemy back. So Talon's decided to get a better angle on the enemy. And he's going for the 121B. He's hit this guy before. Oh, he's been spotted. And the 121B can see him. Yeah, and he did get hit by the 121B for 418 hit points. Well, he was lucky it was only that, because that was a low roll. He's, yeah, decided to get the hell out of here quick because he's spotted by the enemy. They did kill the 121B. He was the only one spotting him at the time, but better for him to move and shoot from a safer spot. There's only 4 enemies left. One of them's the Arty. 2 of them are sighted at the moment, the K91 and... oh, is that an S51? No, it's not an S51. It was an E50, I think, but he's gone. The K91's making a dash down this side of the railway line. There he is, rounds out. Oh, a bit of lag there. I'm sure that was a bit of lag, because the K91s just seemed to stop in mid-flow. And they've captured the base at the other end, so the game is over. Let's have a look at the second game. The second game is the SU-14-2, the school bus, the Tier 8 Soviet SPG, and this time we're on the southwest spawn of Glacier with ProvoBob. Okay, he's off. This really is quite a slow Arty, but it's not as slow as the GW Tiger P. And you can see ProvoBob's got 2 marks of excellence on the barrels, so he knows how to play this one fairly well. He also has the 203mm howitzer, but Wargaming has neutered it alongside the 2128. It's now got 900 alpha, 52mm of penetration, and he's aiming towards the centre of the map, towards the ramp to the aircraft carrier, where we've got a Charfu 204 and a LT432 who thought better about trying to go up the ramp because there was already an M41 Bulldog on it. Okay, there's a number of targets for him to shoot at. This is a target-rich environment. Yeah, I'd always like a good game in a map where you've got plenty of targets you can aim at, because even if one target's been hit, you can just roll on to the next one and hit that one. And the more you hit, the more likely you are to get a Confederate medal. And of course, more hit points you can earn. Rounds out the Conqueror. Direct hit, 357. Now, ProvoBob's elected to use the standard HE only. He's not loaded any of the armor piercing or the special HE. I think we've learned from the testing that talon1958 and Angelina75 have been doing is that it's actually helpful to have a combination of shells, a few of the special HE, but none of the armor piercing, because they are just completely worthless. Although some people seem to like them, I think tank drivers like them even more, because the chances are you're going to miss, in which case you'll do absolutely no damage to them whatsoever. No stun, nothing. Direct hit there for 383 by ProvoBob, and he's picking up loads of stun assist. Thin armor on that Bisonte, which makes him an easy target. He's also quite a big target, which makes it easy to hit. But yeah, ProvoBob realises here he could really help the team, because if we can take that Basante down, yet the team can progress towards the enemy cap. Okay, spotted another good target, a lurver and a Conway near the enemy cap area. Now the Conway's got more hit points, so that's where he's aiming first. That's out. Oh, good shot. 262. The lurver goes down, but it wasn't him who killed it. It was the pushing on our team. The Conway, though, did take a hit for 262, which means obviously he's wounded. That E75TS is looking very juicy because he's very, very low on hit points as well. A splash should be enough to take him out of the game. And we now know where the enemy Arty is. He's behind the trees, behind the cap area. Or in the trees, I should say. The Char-Future-4 and LT-432 are still hanging around the ramp area. Rounds out the Char-Future. Direct hit. That was a good shot. We'll have to wait till the end of the battle to see how much damage that one did, but I suspect that it probably did about 400 hit points because Char-Future-4 has very little armor indeed. And, well, our teammates are about to come around the corner and that Char-Future is about to get shot from a different angle. And I think he realises it now. He's just killed the Carnarvon Action 10. But now they are in grave danger. Okay, ProvoBob's loaded again. Go for the 113, rounds out. Direct hit on the engine bay, 429, he's racking up the damage. The standard reload for this Arty is 37.39 seconds. ProvoBob's got it down to 33 seconds. And he's making good use of the shells he's got because so far he's earned 1,431, but I think that's probably going to be closer to 1,800 or 2 grand of damage because after all we've had a few blind shots. He's going for the Scorpion G. This could be a kill shot if he gets it on target. Rounds out. It landed to the right of, I think, of the Scorpion G, or to his left. It looked like it was next to him, but wasn't on him. Reticule drifting to the left means there's a target to the left. The enemy's only down by 1 tank. It appears they are trying to definitely defend their cap area. And they managed to kill quite a few of our tanks over in the northwest corner of the map. We did have a large force coming around that corner, but the Char-Future-4 managed to get one. And a few of the other tanks on the enemy team have also got a kill. So ProvoBob's decided to change position. I guess he was firing from the same position for far too long. And if you want to avoid counter battery, you do need to change position every now and then. Of course, it doesn't need to be by much. You only need to move a few meters, and also to change your position sideways, so a bit left and a bit to the right to fox them. Because if they have been looking specifically to see where the trace is emanating from, and you've moved sideways a bit, they won't get it until they realise that the shell hits dead ground and nothing happens. Okay, this looks a good position. Well away from the enemy now. I guess he was actually concerned that the enemy 122TM was headed his way. We haven't seen him for a while, but we do have an ISU-152K and a Scorpion G between us and him now. Okay, there's the Conway. Rounds out. Oh, it's going to stun him. And yes, he did get 10 hit points. And the Conway goes down, so he's picked up the rest by stun assist. There's only 3 enemies remaining. I think we briefly saw one of the enemies. That was the Scorpion G, but he's gone. There's the 122. He changed his mind. He's headed back to his own cap, but suddenly encountered a rather large force of enemy tanks, or our tanks, on the ice. So he's in a lot of trouble now because ProvoBob's going to try and put a round into him. Line it up, work out where he's going to be. That's it, rounds out. Looks good. Yes! Kill! Excellent shot. That means there's only one enemy left. It's the Arty. He is definitely behind the trees in the northeast corner of the map. He's somewhere in there. I think he's actually more slightly over to the right. We can't see any felled trees. That's normally an indication that they've been moving through the trees, but he's been careful not to knock any down. I think he is slightly to the right. Yes, there you go. He's actually just hinted where he is because he's knocked a tree down. Round out. I think that's going to miss because he actually knocked the tree down and then moved forward again. So he's just slightly in front of that fallen fir tree. In fact, I think he's probably... Yeah, there he is actually. He's moved over to try and get a shot at one of our teammates, the IS-3. And he's out the game. So that one is a victory, just like the last one. Let's have a look at this third game. The third game is the M44, the Tier 6 American SPG. We're on the northwest spawn of Mountain Pass, and it's under the command of Targy. Okay, he's got a 155mm howitzer, which used to be capable of doing 550 alpha, but wargaming is new to the Arty, and now it's down to just 500. With the special HE, you can do 600 hit points, which is slightly more, but obviously less blast radius, and also it has no stun, so you wouldn't get any stun assist. Now Targy's taking it down the ice road because he wants to shoot at the enemy tanks as they come up towards him, plus he can shoot at the enemy cap area from here, or at least he can lob shells in that direction. Yep, there you go. Okay, he's waiting for an enemy shot from the bushes. They could have gone up on the hill though. Nothing yet. It's always possible the enemy Arty might not be firing because they can't see anything. That sometimes does happen. Okay, he's moved up to get a better angle. And just about to aim at the KV-85, but he goes down, taken out by our Cromwell B. Now, Targy likes the overhead aiming. It's what they call strategic view, I suppose you might say. Pardon me. Little sneeze there. Okay, now he's got Battle Assistant. Gives you a better idea of whether or not you can hit the target. Rounds out the OI. Direct hit, 73 hit points. Now he might be better off using the armor piercing actually. He does have 7 armor piercing, and you've got a stationary target with fairly thick armor. So in these circumstances, very difficult to miss. Except of course there is that bit of cliff in the way. Well, that shot definitely did 182. He's loading the special HE for the next round, which should take the OI out of the game. Here we go. Almost loaded. Loading time 16.67 seconds now. Used to be as low as 15 seconds. Round out. Kill shot. Okay, so he's got a number of targets he can hit down here. And although he's backing himself into the corner, I think, yes, you need to move over just a little bit, that's it, to get a better shot on those guys on the corner. Because the shell is actually going up in the air, coming down on top of them, and the cliff face is in the way, so he just needs to move over just a tad. Oh, he's losing most of the teammates ahead of him. And the next one is the AMX-13F3, and I don't think he's going to survive very long. But that special HE did do some damage to the P43 biz, but I think the P43 is about to kill our AMX-13F3. And there's not a lot the AMX-13F3 can do about it because he's fairly slow. Going for the T78, round out. Oh, kill shot! Beautiful shot. Thin armour on T78s. And we've lost our AMX-13F3, so he's now retreating. Targy's going to return to the cap area. He can still hit those guys as they come up the road. The rest of the team is still doing rather well. But if he actually moves over where the Hummel is right now, he might be able to get shots on the enemy tanks as they come up the road and help the Nashorn to hold them back. Whilst our guys are now at the enemy cap area and starting to wreak havoc down there. The Nashorn is gone, so yeah, under these circumstances and the fact that the enemy does actually have a strong force at their cap area, the Chi-2 is actually coming back to help. Okay, so he's now aiming up the ice road, but he can't see the enemy. Hopefully the Chi-2 will spot and he'll get the spotting assist. And we just lost the Hummel. Oh, good shot! He killed the Cromwell with that shot. And that means now there's just a P43 Biz. And whilst the Chi-2 is taking damage, if he can shotgun that P43 Biz, or even get an aim shot on him, that's the enemy Arty getting involved. That was a standard HE round because it had some stun. Okay, he's going to take up the position that the Chi-2 was in. I think the P43 might have retreated. It's got into cover. Okay, can he get a shot? He should be able to get one. Oh, the cliff side is in the way, but the Chi-2 takes care of the P43 Biz. Now, this means that we've only got 3 tanks left on our team facing 6 enemy, 2 of which are Arty. This is going to be a tough one to win. We do have a Striv 74 in the enemy area. Most of our attack force who went down the other end of the map were wiped out, but the Chi-2 and targy did manage to hold the cap area. And we've just lost the Striv 74, so now it's just targy and the Chi-2 against 6 enemy opponents. They're outnumbered 3-1. Each of them is going to have to kill at least 3 tanks or near it to win this game. In fact, considering targy's already got 3 kills, he's already well on the way. And oh, the enemy's behind him. It's an MT25. He takes 1 round from the MT25's 57mm, but he shotguns him at close range, and that's the end of the MT25. But oh, the M44 on the enemy team managed to get a round into him. And now the Striv M42-57's turned up with his 75mm and his autoloader, and the Chi-2 finishes him off. The next enemy to arrive is a Hellcat, and whilst the Chi-2 takes care of the Cromwell B, targy shotguns the Hellcat, and now it's 2 versus 2. They've clawed it back. They can win this. Those other 2 tanks are Arty's. One's an M44, the other one is the AMX-13F3, and they've now platooned. One of them's got 5 kills, that's targy. 4 kills for the Chi-2. This is a heroic defense, it really is. And the thing is that the enemy came in mob-handed. They were all together at the same time and they came into the cap area. And, well, they managed to see them off. The Chi-2 getting 2 kills and then targy diving on top of the Hellcat, shotgunning him right through the roof to end up killing him 1 shot. I think it was a premium HE round if I remember correctly, so of course the premium HE does do more damage than the standard HE. It does 600 hit points, and I suspect he just overwhelmed that Hellcat. Now the enemy is capping, and they've gone too far down the ice road to turn around and go back, so I think they're going to have to go all the way around and come up the other side and go back to the cap. But you know it's going to be one of the Artys, and it's probably going to be the M44. I suspect the Chi-2 is going to go back to the cap because targy is taking up a position so that he can shoot in that direction, or is he? No, he's definitely going to go back as well. You can't guarantee that the Chi-2 will be able to do it. He might get shotgunned when he comes around the corner, just as targy shotgunned that Hellcat. The thing is, if one of them goes in and gets shotgunned and killed, then the other one will be able to follow up and get a reset. Now, if targy's smart, he might actually be able to get a defender medal out of this. The enemy's going to be lined up and ready for them, but he might be aiming down the ice road. The enemy's going to get a fraction of a second when he's in sight, and then he'll turn the corner and blast him, but no, Targy's decided, oh, and he's been spotted. He's got no shot, but neither is the M44. In fact, the M44 is facing the wrong way. Line him up, and yes! He not only gets a Top Gun, he gets a Defender medal as well, resetting the cap. And he stayed alive. Wow, that took some doing. Now, what's he going to do? Is he going to go down the ice road? They've got plenty of time. Oh, fantastic work. I'm glad the Cheetah decided to come back. I suspect the Cheetah now is going to go to the enemy cap area and try and find the AMX-13F3, and Targy is going to sit here just in case the guy comes back, and if the Cheetah does spot the enemy AMX, he can then shoot him from long range. This is an interesting decision, and I think it might actually work. I'm pretty positive it could. Although I do like it when, you know, both players actually go in together, because you've got much more chance that the enemy's going to kill one and leave the other one alive to kill them. The thing is that Targy can hit the enemy from long range, and I suspect as well that Targy's anticipating the AMX-13F3 might come up the ice road, because he did go down to grid square F0. So there's a possibility he's going to appear up this road. Now the view range for this Arty is 265 meters, and if I recall correctly, the AMX-13F3 has a similar view range. It's actually 270. Okay, Cheetah's reached the cap area. He's very low on hit points though. Targy's aiming for the hill, just in case he's there. If I was in the RT defending the cap, I'd be in the bushes behind the cap, waiting for the enemy to get close enough so that it's a certain kill. And Targy's now looking at the bushes in that corner. He's not there, which means he might still be down on the ice road. What a fascinating game for our last one. 10 kills between them. No chance of getting a crucial, I'm afraid, because there's not enough enemies left to kill. But, well, they turned it around 2 against 6. And what a victory this would be. And it'd be nice for the Cheetah to get an Invader medal to go along with Targy's Defender medal. And I think actually this battle will show that Arty's still got it. He's still got it. And I think it's down to the players, really. It's the players that count. If Wargaming nerfs Arty and the players have still got their ability, they're still going to pull the rabbit out of the hat. You can't keep a good man or woman down. No sign of that AMX-13F3. So if he does turn up at our cap, then Targy will give him a warm welcome. 155mm welcome. But it looks like he's not coming back. He's staying away from the cap. And the Cheetah has done it. He's done it. They've won the game. The Cheetah ends up with an Invader and Targy gets a Defender. 10 kills between them. What a victory. I think you would agree that all 3 of those battles were really excellent and very well played by all the players concerned. In the first battle, in the 212A, talon1958 used his intuition skill, the new skill on the 212A, to actually hit the enemy tanks. He managed to get a 3rd class tanker, but no other medals. A win rate of 2014, which is very good indeed. Let's have a look at team score. Well, you can see he actually earned 2,038 hit points of damage during that game. Not the highest. That was actually the 121B that he kept hitting, 4,603 hit points of damage to him. And the next high scorer was the Object 430U on our own team with 4,422. He picked up a Confederate. And the third highest damage was the Centurion Action 10 on our team with 3,792. And he got a Confederate as well. When it came to number of kills, it was the Chieftain, the T95 FV4201, got 4 kills. 2 kills went to the Centurion Action 10, the 121B and the Kunstpanzer on the enemy team. And we can see that Talon only got 1 kill in that game. But when it came to base XP, he's, well, about mid-table. The top scorer was the Chieftain with 897, 860 to the 430U, 810 to the Tortoise. And Talon managed to get 679. So I think he proved that, well, this intuition skill, although it seems a good idea, is not very good because obviously you are wasting time whilst you're switching from one shell to another. And so it's far better to actually pick a loadout that allows you to earn stun assist so you can get a good classification or a good class on the victory, such as an ace tanker or a first class or a second class. Because without stun assist, you're not going to make that. You're simply not going to get enough damage to do it. And also to carry a couple of premium rounds so you can actually hit the enemy when they're stationary or if they happen to be grouping together. So 679, let's have a look at the detail. He only fired 10 shots, got 5 direct hits, no penetrations but 6 splash. Damage of 2,038 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He did take a round, it was from that 121B, and it did penetrate, I'm afraid. 3 enemy vehicles were damaged, 1 was killed, and 326 hit points of stun assist off 1 stun. On a premium count, he earned 30,086 credits for the game, got 50,000 for completing a mission, total of 80,086 credits altogether. After repair and ammunition resupply took away profit of 56,154. If he hadn't earned the mission, he would have actually only had 6,154 for the battle, and he actually would have made a loss on a free-to-play account. 25 bonds for the battle, it was tier 10. And 1018 XP times 2 for the first victory took away 2037 experience points altogether. So that was the first game with the 212A. Let's have a look at the second one. Well, that was the school bus, the SU-14-2 on the Glacier map. And ProvoBob got an ace tanker in that game. He also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get 9. And he got a Confederate medal because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. And his win rate from that one was Unicum standard 2,803, which is reasonably good. I think that's quite a good game. On team score, we can see that he didn't get the highest damage. That went to the Wizzy 111 Model 5A with 4,749. 4,303 went to the STB1, and the next high score after that was the Future 4 that he actually got a blind shot on, 2,894. How much was that blind shot, by the way? Let's have a look. It was in here. Yeah, 356 hit points. Yes, it was a big blind shot. That must have hurt the guy. Yeah, I don't think he would have been too happy about that. Anyway, getting back to the details. We can see that he actually got 2,387 hit points, which puts him 4th on his team. And with that figure, he's actually 7th overall because there were 3 members of the enemy team scored more than him. When it came to kills, it was the IS-3 that did the best with 3 kills. 2 kills to the STB-1, the Bisonte, the Pershing, the Future 4. Nobody on the enemy team managed to get more than 1 kill. And ProvoBob only got the 1 kill in the game. But when it came to base XP, because he was tier 8 in a tier 10 game, he actually did a lot better than the tier 10 tanks. The Bisonte did 1,130, well, he's tier 8 as well. And ProvoBob got 2nd place on base XP, 1,120, of course that was the ace tanker. And 1,049 went to the Wizzy 111 Model 5A. He fired 10 rounds, same number as Talon, I believe that was. 4 direct hits, no penetration, 9 splash, damage of 2,387 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 1, did 2,338 hit points of stun assist off 8 stuns. Yep, that's what earns the ace tanker. That's where you get it, from doing stun assist, and you can only do that with the first rounds. And it all depends on the number of hits you get on target and how accurate you are as to how much damage you can actually earn off those standard HE. 55,137 credits for the game after ammunition, resupply and consumables took away a profit of 16,037 credits. So a decent profit, but he would have made a loss if he'd been on a free-to-play account. 1,600 XP, I think it's at 1,600 or 1,680. 1,680, yeah. I really need to go see the ophthalmist. 2 times 2 for the first victory, 3,360 experience points altogether. So again, a really decent battle here by ProvoBob, proving that the school bus has still got it, and got it in spades, because it really is all about the player. If the player is good enough, you're going to get great results. So, yep, this is why in the third battle we got such fantastic results. Targy got a second-class tanker in that one. He should have taken away a bigger than the second class because he was really instrumental in the win. It was only 2 of them against 6 opponents and they took them all down. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 9. He got a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. He got a brothers in arms because he was in platoon with somebody else who got at least 3 kills. And he also got a defender medal for resetting the cap. And that was in a fairly, well, it was a very spectacular way, because although he didn't have to shotgun that guy and drive around the corner, I think he could have actually just driven straight around the corner and hit the guy straight in the side. And of course he got the top gun for getting at least 6 kills. And his platoon mate managed to get a sizable number of kills as well. He got 4. Let's have a look at team score. Well, the highest damage in the game was actually the Striv M42-57 on the enemy team with 2,189 hit points. The second highest damage was their Cromwell B, 1,624. Both of those were taken out by the Chi 2 on Targy's team. And when it came to the third highest damage, that was Targy, 1,525. He was the highest scorer on his team. And, well, the Chi 2, 1,210. When it came to kills, it was Targy. Yes, he got 6 kills. His platoon mate got 4. 2/3 of the enemy team killed between them. That is pretty amazing. And especially considering 2 tanks facing down 6 enemies and taking out 5 of them to win the game. We don't know where that AMX-13F3 was, but I guess it really didn't matter at the end. When it came to base XP, it was the Chi 2 who did the best with 814. And Targy did 813, 1 experience point behind. And the next one after that was the Striv M42-57 by virtue of the fact that he did the most damage in the game. Targy fired 11 rounds, got 7 direct hits and 2 penetrations on the enemy. 8 splash as well. Damage of 1,525 hit points, of which 777 were at more than 300 meters. He received 1 hit. It was a penetration, yeah. And he also got 1 hit by way of splash damage. Couldn't avoid that. The MT25 came up the slope, but he sorted that guy by blasting him in the face with a premium HE, and he was out of the game. And 1 hit by splash damage, well, he couldn't stop the enemy Arty from firing at him because he was out in the open. And after dealing with the MT25, he did try to move as quickly as he could, but the enemy Arty did get a good shot. But that Arty did not come back for more, and that's the good bit. He damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 6, and got 91 defense points when he reset the M44. So you can see he actually only just got that, only just saved them from losing the game by resetting the cap with only 9 points left to get. He earned 20,680 for the battle, got 120,000 for mission payout, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 142,815 credits profit. That's a really good game in terms of profit. Although, yes, you must say a lot of it is the mission payout, which would have reduced his profit to 22,815 if that wasn't there. 813 XP times 2 for the first victory, took away 2,440 experience points altogether. I think, yeah, he says life in the old dog still. Yes, there is. It's all to do with the player. The better the player is, the more likely they're going to score big damage with Arty. And Wargaming made a huge mistake changing Arty around the way they did. It was perfectly okay as it was. All they needed to do, as Klaus Kellerman pointed out, was reduce the number of Arty per battle, and that would have been fine. That would have changed everything around. But no, they had to go around and mess around with the shells. And what's happening? Well, Arty are still getting the damage they used to do in the past, and they're proving that they are still better players than other players when it comes to dealing damage and winning battles. So well done to Targy, to ProvoBob in his school bus, and also to Talon in his 212A. I hope you enjoyed all those 3 replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.